Welcome back, YouTube. Today we will be reviewing the latest Mortal Kombat entry. I'm kind of late to the show. It was kind of released like a few months ago, but I wasn't going to pay for it. It's finally free on HBO, and I decided to watch it. Mortal Kombat Legends Battle of the Realms. But before I get into my review of this animated movie, please consider this your warning, because I will be talking some bit spoilerish-ish. So you've been warned. So before I get into my review of this movie, this is a sequel from Mortal Kombat Legends, also an animated movie, Scorpion's Revenge. This is a sequel directly after the events that we see in Scorpion's Revenge, even though Scorpion is not a major player in this one, and we focus a lot more in our Mortal Kombat heroes and villains that we're used to. And let me tell you, it does not disappoint. From the first 5 minutes of this movie, I was hooked. The animation is nice. I thought that the voice acting was a little bit questionable and I didn't like it at times, but the animation and graphic, I mean, you see blood, you see explosions of, like, you see deaths, like I like that. I like that when animations take that risk, and for us being in this new era, I know it's in the eyes of the beholder. Some might not like that kind of goriness, but if you see my reviews on anime or animation movies or series, I like it. I like that they give some kind of realism, and that's the only type that you can do, especially when you're dealing with an audience like us that we've seen the graphic novels or have watched the comics or have played, in this instance, the video games with the fatalities. I enjoyed it so much that I wish that the live action, I know it can't be this gory without getting like a rated R or higher, but I wish they would take this kind of risk in the live action movies. It will just give us as fans of these properties a little bit more enjoyment, and that's why we enjoy these types of animated movies. Now, don't get me wrong, this movie leaves a lot to the imagination, and it's really not trying to do anything but fan service. The script or the storyline is pretty basic, just like the video games. Our heroes are trying to save the realm, or Earth Realm as it's known. Same thing as the video game, and there's battles to determine who the champions are going to be. And it's pretty much that's as basic as it gets. And some people don't like it because there really isn't a plot. There really isn't a story. There really isn't anything but just graphic goriness. And for me, I loved it. Again, the animation style, the way they do that X-ray thing where they break a bone or something, I'm cool with that. It was messy. You saw eyes popping out. I mean, Kung Lao was like freaking split in half. I was like, yes, finally, this is what we've been wanting to see. And again, it sucks that they give it to us in animation, but I was like stuck. It was the most enjoyable 1 hour and 20 minutes of Mortal Kombat content that I've had in a while. I enjoyed Scorpion's Revenge. I praise the animation style. It was different from what we were used to, and this one doesn't follow along completely with that type of animation, but it does hold true to some, especially when we see Scorpion's image, even though it's a little bit weaker in this one as far as the animation style. Again, the voice acting was the script non-existent, and I know people are gonna hate that because they want a script, they want a plot, they want something that they could follow along and get invested to. And trust me, you could leave this movie in the background and it'll do itself the same service, and you could just kind of glaze at the fights and you'll be like, oh, you feel satisfied. At least for me, I didn't care about the story mode. I just like when Johnny Cage was bantering with Sonya Blade, and there was like this love tension between them. I was like, oh, you're my girlfriend. Oh, he's not my boyfriend. Going back and forth. I enjoyed that. I enjoy Raiden just turning into a human, obviously, because he has to fight, and he fights along our other heroes and stuff like that. I enjoyed Jax, and even though he was developed with this, American flag on his arm, I don't care. I enjoyed it. Sonya Blade, all the characters that we were there, they were drawn to like the almost likeness of what we're used to, the powers that we're used to them having. They all showed us the powers that we're all used to from, again, Johnny Cage to Liu Kang to Sonya Blade to Scorpion to like all of them showed us the fatalities that we're used to, or their special moves that we're used to in the game, and I loved it. For me, now I know I'm ranting and raving about how good it was, but yet I still have to criticize them on the same way I do everything else. And though on the goriness, the animation, it did an A+, on that mark, the fact that it does lack a plot, the fact that it does lack and leaves a lot to be desired in the voice acting aspect, the fact that it just really seemed to be fan service. For me being a fan, they serviced me, but for the overall population, I think it's gonna be a huge miss. And because it leaves so much of that desire, and because of the voice acting, and because again there really isn't any purpose than just to make a live action recreation of the video game, it kind of leaves you like so for me, the rating for this, even though I raved and I'm giving it high praise, is a B. Now some people might say, oh my god, B, and you're not used to my ratings and you're forgiven for that. A B in my rating is still good. It's worth watching. If you're a fan of it, you will definitely enjoy it. And I know people are going to be like, oh my god, you're freaking dumb. B is too low. It should be like an A+. I enjoyed it. Oh, and some people are going to say, oh, it was trash. This is just, it tried to like do too much fan service and there was nothing really gained. It didn't add to the story. It didn't add to the lore, blah, 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 blah. It should have been like a D for me. And I get it. We all have our ratings. For me, I enjoyed it. I would recommend it. If you have an HBO subscription, I wouldn't recommend buying it, but if you have an HBO subscription, or you know someone, hint, hint, that has an HBO subscription, go ahead and watch it. You will not regret it one bit. But anyways, those are just my thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. And like always, that's a wrap.